Good morning, bowling proprietors of the United States. My name is Frank DeSocio. I'm the Executive Director of Bpaa, located here in Arlington, Texas at the International Bowling Campus. These are sure unprecedented times that we are living in, and I just wanted to say hello. We'd all be gathering in Nashville for our midwinter meeting and our midwinter membership meeting with some great seminars, but due to COVID, we will not, as you well know. We at the campus and we at Bpaa just wanted to send a quick message to everybody to say, we're thinking of you. We're trying to help any way we can. We keep trying to deliver more and more messages and information to help you get through these times that are so tough. It's even a little tougher here at Bpaa because if you go up to states like Wyoming, North Dakota, Florida, times are pretty good. They're getting back. There's a light at the end of that tunnel. But darn it, there's states like California, Washington, New York, Oregon that are still trying to fight through this pandemic that we're all living through. I do see a light at the end of the tunnel for all of us. And as a good friend of mine, Roger Philippi, told me, it's going to be Christmas in April. And that's what we're all hoping. Second vaccine's in place, third is on its way. I think it'll ratchet up hopefully by April, and hopefully we will have the largest and biggest attended Bowl Expo in June in Louisville, Kentucky that we've ever had. Our staff here at Bpaa continues to be here for you, for our members, and I'd even go as far as to say for our non-members. We in bowling have to work together to get to the end of this tunnel, and that tunnel is near. That light is near. I just wish to say this to everyone. God bless you all. God bless what you've been through. God bless getting us all through with your families and healthy. Now let me turn it over to Amy to give you some great news. Amy?
Thank you, Frank. And let me just say Happy New Year. I wish I was saying Happy New Year at Bowling Summit like I've done for the last 19 years, but as Frank just said, COVID will not allow that. So here we are. Your Smart Buy team was very busy in 2020, busy doing things we never thought we would have to do, like returning product, sourcing weird items like thermometers and masks, sending out hand sanitizers, and most recently negotiating music licensing credits for when you were closed. While that took an incredible amount of time, we remained focused on what we actually do. It was more important to focus on strengthening our current partnerships and bringing in new partnerships for you, because 2021 is going to be a year where costs must go down. It will dictate how fast we recover by watching every penny. So as Frank said, I do have some exciting news about a current partnership and two new partnerships I'd like to share with you. So the first one is your Cisco program. We renewed this contract in July, a month where we didn't look that appetizing to Cisco, but because of the 15-year relationship that we've had with Cisco, we were able to keep the margins low, starting at 8%, and most importantly, we removed any delivery fees on any size order. So if you need to order $100, there will be no delivery fee. And we increased the Cisco brand rebate. And that's important because 50 to 60% of your purchases are Cisco branded items. And we improved that from 1.9% to 2.5%. I want to brag about the Cisco program for a minute because it's an all-encompassing program. It has pricing and rebates, and I like to call the pricing cake and the rebates icing. The cake, if you will, the pricing is on every single case. So not just your top 20 or your bottom 20 or your middle 20, it's on every single case that starts with the Cisco price that they paid for the product. And it has audit rights that's practiced to the fullest extent of the contract. And what I love about this program is the more you can order in one drop size, the more you're going to save. And notice I said the more you can order per drop size. I didn't say per year. You do not have to buy more groceries to save more. But if you can figure out how to get 3 orders a week down to 2, or 2 to 1, or 1 to every other week, you are going to pay the same price for products as somebody that's buying $1 million worth of grocery a year. Now I'm bragging about that program because despite how great it is, for the last 15 years, we only have about half of the members using it at any given time. And there's reasons for that. It's a revolving door. Maybe somebody came in and promised better pricing and then you came back. Or maybe there's service issues, which certainly happens, or maybe you can't get the product, or maybe your brother works for the competitor. There's reasons for this. And in normal years, we would put this program out, and we would say this is the best program for the best price, and we would work through all of those other issues. It's what we've been doing for 15 years. But with COVID, it's not a normal year, and that means nothing is off the table. And so with Sysco's reluctant thumbs up, we did something we would typically never do, and that is we partnered with their biggest competitor, US Foods. US Foods is your secondary food distributor. It's going to bring you rebates on all the products that you buy, big rebates. I'm talking partnerships with your French fry manufacturers, pizza ingredients, pizza crust, major beef manufacturers, chicken, you name it, we have rebates, $3 and $4 a case. And US Foods agreed to pay you on their branded items as well. And again, you buy 50 to 60% of your items are these exclusive brands. So US Foods will pay you 2% on top of that. There's no pricing with US Foods, it's rebates only. So you'll have to negotiate your pricing yourself. If you're already using US Foods, your pricing will not change, you'll just start getting 4 rebate checks a year. No contract to sign, but there is a 1-page form that allows us to bill, collect, and pay these rebates to you. Now, whether you use Sysco, the cake and the icing, or US Foods, just the icing, the rebates, these are the 2 monsters out there. These are beautiful programs for you. I'm gonna ask you to use one of these or both of these, at least until you recover. And don't be out there on your own, not under one of these programs, because all of the food distributors, all of the food manufacturers lost a lot of money, and they're going to be making it up. If you are by yourself navigating this, you are very vulnerable. So I'm asking you, at least until you recover, get on one of these programs. Enough about food. I'm going to talk about another new partnership we rolled out in 2020, and it revolves around this Visa MasterCard settlement. The settlement was for $5.5 billion, a lot of money there, and that money's already in a trust, so now it's time for us to go get your portion. If you took credit cards between 2004 and 2019, you have money in this trust. You can do 3 things. You can go get the money on your own, fill out the forms and keep up with the dates, and if you want to do that, I can help you. The Department of Justice has a website for that. Or you can use a service like MCAG, our partner, or you don't have to do anything and you can let this money go to another merchant. And I hope you won't do that, because this is not a small check. This is not an $8 check. While nobody will commit to what it is, there's been talks about 4 figures. So if you decide to use our partner, MCAG, they are going to charge you 20% of the claim. And listen, that sounds high, and it is, but it's real because we have access into what your claim is, and we can touch it and see that it's 20%. They do all the work for you. You don't have to pay attention to deadlines. Once you enroll with them, the check will show up. Now, why did we partner with them? They are the biggest out there. They've been around before this settlement. They'll be around way after. But we really did it because we didn't want these predatory companies that are popping up to come to you and say, I'll do it for free or I'll do it for 1%. They really can say whatever they want because there's no transparency there. So we partnered so that we get to see all of this and we make sure they're only taking the 20%. And MCAG partnered with all of the major processors. So whether you were with Mercury, who got bought out by Vantiv, who got bought out by WorldPay, they have access to all that data. They have access to First Data, they have access to Heartland. So all of the major credit card processing companies, they'll be able to quickly get your data and quickly pay your check to you. And speaking of credit card processing, I want to just end right now with a plea for you to start looking at your credit card fees in a big way. Because more consumers are going to be paying with credit cards. We know this. We know that they've been told money is dirty, pay with credit cards, and that's what they're doing. Listen, even before COVID, 60% of your revenue came from credit or debit cards. Right now we're seeing numbers of 80 to 85%, and that's only going to grow. So you want to make sure you're paying the least amount to get all of this money moved around. The Bpaa program at cost plus 3.5 cents means members effectively pay anywhere from 1.7% to 2.4%, everywhere in between, and it changes because it's based on what kind of credit cards are coming into your center. I'm asking you to look at your statements, no matter who you're with, even if you're with First Data, and figure out every month your effective rate. It's usually on the front page. You take your fees you were charged by that for that month, divide it by the revenue you processed in that month on credit cards, and you're going to come up with an effective rate. If it is more than 2.4%, I need you to give me a call. We got to figure out how to save some money, because this is real money. If you save 2 and 3 and 4% in some cases on this, it's big money. It's not little, it's big. So I'm asking you to please do this calculation and give me a call if you're coming up with anything that is higher than 2.4%. I just want to end by saying I do agree with Frank. I think Bowl Expo is going to be huge. I miss you guys. I cannot wait to see you there. I'll have new programs to roll out for you there. Recovery is going to take intent, right? Sure, it'll take time, but it'll also take intent. You've already been doing a great job cutting costs with payroll and even air conditioning, not using the lights in the party room, all of those things. But now it's time to get granular with our savings, and I can help there. So things like ceiling tiles, motors, food certainly is a big one. Credit cards is huge. But even if it's bathroom tissues and things like that, I need you to start using the Smart Buy program so that we can recover fast. Again, I hope to see you at Expo, but until then, I'd like to kick it over to Bart Berger, who has some real exciting things to tell you about in the education program.
Thank you, Amy, and hello everyone. If we've not had the opportunity to meet, my name is Bart, and I'm part of the team here at Bpaa. I want to share with you some things that otherwise we would do while we're together. I also want to wish everyone a Happy New Year, send along well wishes just as Frank and Amy have done. And as always, Amy does an incredible job with her team talking about the cost-saving benefits, the things that we can help you with. And something she said really resonated with me, and that was, it's going to be imperative that we all work together to drive down cost. And there's going to be a direct correlation with your ability to drive down cost and your recovery. And she shared some great information with you. So this is going to be the year of all years that we're going to have to work together, sharpen the pencil, and really make every dollar have a name, and some great resources there for you on there. And Frank mentioned that, look, all of us are in a different place. Some of you are in locations that you're able to be open, and while business is not back to normal, it certainly is at a level that's sustainable. Some of you are open for business, but due to government regulations and capacity constraints, really you're operating at a volume that just doesn't make it viable to make a profit. And unfortunately, my personal opinion, due to overreaching government intervention, you are not able to open. And wherever you are right now, I just want to ask you, don't give up. Keep fighting. We've got an incredible product. This is a resilient group of people we have here, and your association is here to help you. I was actually, in preparing for today to be with you, I was doing some research, catching up on some reading, and I want to share something real quick before I go over my actual information. I found this chart, and it was a study about people that were gaming and doing online gaming, and since COVID-19, and why they had chose to do online gaming. And the study was really fascinating for me, and I'll just share with you quickly. Number one, to combat boredom or fill time. Not a big surprise in doing that. Number two is escape from the real world. That's a little scary, but nonetheless, for gamers, maybe so. But the last three items I want to share with you on here on why people during COVID had chose to do more gaming and online gaming. It was a substitute for unavailable entertainment. And I use the word substitute, not a change in behavior. Fourth was to stay in touch with friends and family. And then last was to socialize with strangers. Though I don't know I understand the stranger part, I'm not a gamer, but just the whole socialization. And the reason I mention all of this, it goes to the fact that we as a society, we are wired for socialization. We are wired to get out and entertain, and you have an incredible product, and it is coming back. So whether you are in a place that bowling is back, or whether you're in a place that bowling will be back, I just ask you to stay strong. And Amy shared some great resources, and I want to spend a few minutes just sharing with you some items that otherwise, if we were together at Summit, we would have shared with you. And with all of our updates, Some of these are things that you may already know, and they're just great reminders. And some of you, it may be information that is new to you. So some resources that we have for you that we want to make sure you're aware of as you are continuing that path recovery. First is the Bpaa Reopening Resource Center. It's been well received. I know that some of you have had fits of starts and stops where you've opened, had to close and reopen. And look, honestly, we've all gotten a little discouraged. Go back to that Reopening Resource Center. If you haven't been there, go visit it for the first time. It has some great resources there for your staff, for your team members, and for your customers and your guests as well. Again, even if you're not open. And also in a partnership with Strike 10 here at the campus, the Social Media Content Bank. If you haven't checked that out, you haven't used that, those resources are there, and I just would encourage you to give that a look. Either, again, a fresh look, or maybe for the first time there. All of those resources are available on the Bpaa website. They're easy to find, and they're great resources for you. One of the items that is relatively new that I want to make sure you're aware of is that the digital photos with all of the guests wearing masks. We did a photo shoot here in the DFW area at some of our member centers, and we brought in some outside talent, families, teens, tweens, young adults, and in all of those photos, we had them wearing masks because one of the things that we just have to be cognizant of is that for many areas of the country, this idea of wearing a mask probably is not going to go anywhere for a while. And again, I'm not speaking for or against. Just as a business operator, I have to understand this, and I have to be able to communicate and share with those guests that it's a safe place to be, that we are in fact safe, sanitized, and ready to roll. So a lot of great resources in that photo shoot for you there. I hope that you'll take a little bit of time. You can start using those immediately. Even if you're not open right now, use those photos because, minus the mask, they really convey fun and energy and getting, back together with your team there. So those are on the website as well. The other thing we're very excited to share with you is our partnership with Strike 10. We filmed some commercials for you. Now these are broadcast quality. There's two files. There's a broadcast file that you could use on cable or any of the TV channels. They're also been designed in a file format for your social channels, your website, any of your digital channels. Now we have 30-second spots and 15-second spots that are available for you. And there's 3 different formats. There's a format with mask, there's a format with no mask, and then there's a format that what we're calling the blended or the hybrid, which is a little mix of some shots with people with mask and without mask. And think about yourself for a minute and kind of the commercials you see today, both digitally and on broadcast media. You see some brands that are filming commercials with masks, some that are more traditional with no mask, and some that are a bit of a blend. So we've tried to give that to you. Now the scripts are the same in all 3. The only difference is the talent and whether they're wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. But it's the same message. It's really about reconnecting with your team, reconnecting with family and friends, because that's what's missing in this social interaction in our game of bowling here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the 30-second spot. That is the one with mask that's available for you. So let's take a quick look.
How do you know when you've found your team? They all might look a little different. They might find each other for different reasons. Maybe you're trying something new, or you've done this before. Whether you're winning or just doing your best, when you're on the lanes, they're right behind you. Reunite with your team.
Now, just a reminder, you may have noticed at the end of that spot, after the family came in and gave each other the high fives, that it said, reconnect with your team. There's a spot under there that you could put your logo, you could put your address, and then even on the closing shot, you could put a call to action or offer. So those are customizable. We also have a version that just have the Go Bowling logo. So if you just want to brand them Go Bowling and you put your own content in the written content in your social channels. So those are all there for you. 3 different versions, ready to go. They're on the website. You can download them and start using them immediately. And I hope you enjoy them because they've been very well received so far. From a business building resource, I want to just remind all of you, or for the first time, maybe share with you the Go Bowling America program. This is the brand that really is a true turnkey program to help you bring people back to bowling when you're ready and when they're ready. This was a partnership with the League Development Committee and of course Strike 10 and all of us here at the campus, where we took the brand and we developed for you 3 sets of creative. There's a version for families if you want to target families, there's a version for young adults, and of course there's a version for youth. So you as the proprietor have all the control in this program. You decide the target market, you decide the number of weeks, you decide the price, and then whatever works for you in your market, at the end, you're going to put a bowling ball in their hand. And it's not just any bowling ball. It's not the normal plastic ball that normally we would do as part of a have-a-ball program. It is a entry-level reactive ball that's going to really target a different group there. And I would tell you, when we put this together in the latter part of the summer, we were all prepared for this to be in full motion at the end of 2020. Like many others, I was convinced that 2020 at the end we'd be getting back to somewhat normal, we'd be starting back leagues, but obviously that's not the case. Despite that, we still have in centers across the country that have been able to floor programs over 400 new bowlers that are participating in Go Bowling America. I know that once we're able to get up and going, that could actually be in the thousands. So this is a great opportunity when you're ready, when your market is ready, to bring people back to bowling, and it works. Where it's be able to get it up and going in those markets, it is working. So please check out that Go Bowling America program there. My last item that I'd like to share with you is one that the education team really was looking forward to sharing with you at Summit. They have been working all of 2020 to put this together for you, but unfortunately we're not able to gather together, and that is the relaunch of our online, on-demand education and training program. Now in 2020, all of you had record usage of the program, and that was by necessity, and we're grateful that we were able to provide that service for you. But behind the scenes, we were really retooling that program. Not that there was anything wrong with it, but just it was time for an upgrade. We were going into year 11 or year 12 in the on-demand program, in the online program, and like everything, it was time for a refresh. Technology had changed. Some of the content had changed. The way you and I consume content has changed. So the team spent a lot of effort in doing that and putting that together for you. And I'm going to give you just a brief overview of a little bit about that program. And then, of course, there's more online for you to research at your convenience there. So what we did was we listened to you and we took what I would call the pain points. And again, not that there's anything wrong with the previous program, but it did have some pain points. It had some areas that didn't make it as user-friendly for you in your busy lifestyle. The previous program, if you're familiar, or if you're not familiar, much like an academic online class, had a certain registration date, a certain start date, and a certain stop date. And so here's what we did. There are no more registration deadlines. You can register anytime, and we have now a simple one-step registration, again, anytime. And one of the things we really did in understanding the way we consume media and content today is we broke this into bite-sized content. Where previously a course, which was a great course, may have been 3 hours long, we've taken that and made all the courses less than an hour. In fact, many of the frontline courses are only 30 minutes or less there. So it's all bite-sized content. We live in what I call a microwave society, and I use the example of cooking. Most of us, if we can't make it in a microwave in 4 minutes or less, we don't want to eat it. Nobody takes the time to home cooking to make something for an hour anymore. So we have to be reminded of that, and we've got bite-sized content for you. So really now, your team, you can take what you want, when you want, how you want. And we think that's going to be very powerful in removing some of those barriers for us. So that's really kind of some of the features that we included in the new program. When you talk about the content and the program itself, we took this opportunity to also develop 38 new courses, 38 new courses. So now we have over 50 courses all in one place that is ready for you when you want it. And there are 19 what we're calling onboarding or new hire courses that you would use for your staff that you bring on. They're really meant for frontline folks. They're kind of compliance. They're designed not only to set your team members up for success, but equally as well to protect you as well. And you and your business. And I use the example of sexual harassment training. That's something that we should set the environment for all of our team, that we provide a workplace that's free of any of that harassment. You have a formal training program. It's less than 30 minutes that you now can share with your group. And if you happen to be in the state of California or Connecticut or Illinois or even New York, those 4 states, in addition to having traditional sexual harassment training, they have a law that you as small business operators are required to train your people in state-specific training. So we have those classes ready to go. All 4 states have state-specific classes that meet that criteria, that you now can protect yourself. And look, nobody was really focused on that in 2020 because of everything that was going on, but I believe that coming out into 2021, those states will be looking at it. It's the right thing to do, but there are 4 states where they've made it the legal thing that you have to do. And we have those resources for you in all states, regardless of where you're at there. So I want to talk just briefly about the new, what we're calling the management and supervisory courses that we developed as part of those 38 courses that I mentioned. We have 10 new food and beverage courses. Courses like food safety and sanitation training for leaders, food service cost metrics, portion control, food inventory management, and I really love the one the team put together, strategic pricing for food service operations, and that's just a few that are specifically designed, 10 new courses just for food and beverage folks, any of your people that are in a supervisory, management, leadership role there. And being a marketing guy that loves marketing and focuses on marketing, we have 12 new marketing courses. Courses like strategic marketing, strategies for developing an annual marketing plan, revenue management, one of my personal favorites, digital marketing. In that digital marketing space, that's a great example of how we took a big topic that normally might be a 3 or 4 hour course, and we broke that up into 3 separate topics, like digital marketing for Facebook, digital marketing for email, digital marketing for text messaging, things of that nature. And then of course, marketing return on investment. Again, just to name a few of the 12 new marketing courses that we have available for you. And then in the area of leadership development, leadership and management development, courses like creating mission, vision, values for leaders, smart goal setting, why goals matter, customer service, you from a leadership standpoint, how to define and develop customer service and customer service standards. And then of course staffing. One of the biggest issues we're going to have going forward is in our space finding staff, keeping staff and training staff. So we have a series of staffing on there, 8 new leadership courses. What we really did was we took a lot of the content that normally you would have to come to Arlington to one of the management schools, and we've now made that available online in bite-sized sessions. Not quite as good as being here in person, not quite as good as some of the interaction and networking of other fellow students that you get together from around the country, but better than not having it at all. So I hope that you'll take a look at some of those new leadership and development classes designed specifically for you. What I'd like to do is in just a second, I'm going to show you a very brief video. It is only 1 minute and 38 seconds, and I want to give you a little flavor of some of the talent and the content that we have in these new courses. This little snippet I'm going to show you is from the customer service standards using START. It's designed to be a frontline course for your frontline folks and all of your team members. And if you chose to use the START acronym or the START method as a way to choose to train your team for the guest experience, this would be the course that you would use for the frontline staff. And it's based off of videos. There's several videos and things in it. So let's take a look. It's only a minute and 38 seconds.
You are a great person and you have a great attitude. How do I know? Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be part of this team. Now, we're going to give you some guidelines to be able to put that awesome attitude to work. We do that by utilizing the START method. It's a simple acronym to remember, and once you start putting it into practice, you'll be well on your way to taking great care of our guests. Working with people involves human interaction, and you can't plan for or teach to every situation. That would be a bit like trying to get to the end of the internet. Not possible, but the START programs give you a great place to, well, start. So let's take a look at what START means, and then we'll share some examples with you. The S is for show your smile. Be nice to everyone you meet. Be positive. The T is for tell them hello. Greet everyone who comes within 20 feet of you. Use a name, if and when possible. The A is for act enthusiastically. Listen, respond, under promise, over deliver. The R is for really care. Say, I'll find out. Never say, I don't know. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Finally, the T is for thank everyone. Never let anyone leave without a thank you, and invite them back. It's important to note that while we're talking about service standards for our guests, this is also the way we should be treating each other on the team as well. Let's take a look at each of the standards and share some examples with you.
Good. I hope you enjoyed that. And again, that's just a very small segment. I will tell you, in these 50 courses, there are over 200 videos. Look, we live in a YouTube society now that everything is video-based. That's how we consume things. We know that as business operators, and yes, we know that ourselves as we ourselves scroll through and consume content through video. So there are over 200 videos like that that are ingrained into those 50 courses, and we hope you'll take a peek at that. Again, all the information is on the website at bpaa.com. So just kind of in closing, as we wrap this up, I wish we were together in Summit. But like Frank and Amy said, it was absolutely the right thing to do. It was a responsible thing to do. It was the healthy thing to do. I do agree with Frank that we will have a Christmas in, and you can fill in the month. I'm hopeful it's Christmas in March. That may be a bit over anxious there. Maybe it is Christmas in April. Maybe it's Christmas in May. But we will have Christmas. We will gather together again, and we celebrate that here. I just want to remind all of you again, it's been said by Amy and Frank and others throughout this whole time of crisis, all of us here at the campus are thinking of you, your family, your team members, as we continue to manage through this crisis. And regardless if you're open, under severe restrictions and being open, or even if you're not allowed to open at all, we're here for you. Use the resources and call on us. We're here to help. Bpaa and the team have been trying to and will continue to try to provide you resources to help you save with our Smart Buy programs, the cost saving, through communications with your guest, when it's right to help reintroduce them to bowling when ready, and now the new program to train and develop your team to get ready to just deliver that great guest experience that I know you're going to do once we get back and we come out of this, and we will come out of this. So I just want to close with this. We should be gathering together now at Summit. And we had a gentleman by the name of Joseph Michelli who was going to be with us. And he was going to be our thought leader, our keynote, and was going to deliver a great message on how brands and how you can come out the other side of this and come out healthy. In fact, he wrote a book that he's going to share with us at our time at Summit called Stronger Through Adversity. In preparing for his time with us and in preparing for what we were going to cover at Summit, I actually read the book. It was a great book there. And we've got some exciting news coming about Joseph. That'll be coming in a future update. But what I want to close with is this. And Joseph, the premise of this book is he interviews 140 leaders of large businesses, small businesses like yours, non-for-profit businesses, all trade associations, all different businesses, charities, and just learning from them how they survived 2020 and how they came out the other side of this and how they were stronger through adversity. And one of the sections that I want to close with there is he had a section that was called Put on Your Mask First. And when I first saw that, I thought, okay, here we go, the great mask debate. Should we, shouldn't we? Is it right? Is it not? And I don't want to have that. Whatever your position is on the mask, that's not what this is about. And as I read the chapter called Put on Your Mask, that wasn't what Joseph was speaking about either. What he was referencing to was the example of the airline. And all of you that have flown, and many of us that fly a lot, we know when the security message plays, and whether it's in a video or in person, they say, in the unlikely event of emergency, if the masks are deployed, put your mask on first before you try to help somebody else. And that's what Joseph was sharing in that chapter was, look, before you can help yourself, help anyone else or help your family, you got to help yourself. You got to take care of yourself first. And it's the one thing that I've learned from Joseph's book. One thing I've learned during this is folks, you got to take care of yourself first. If you're going to help your family, if you're going to help the ones you love, if you're going to help your community, if you're going to help your business, you got to take care of yourself. We're coming down the home stretch, and we're all feeling a lot of fatigue, myself included. So my close to you is put on your mask first, take care of yourself so you can take care of others. God bless and stay safe.